Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Rockwood number 70C. This is a 70C push plate. This is shown in the 606 finish. I'm going to remove it from the packaging here. 70C is probably the most common push plate that there is, meaning 70C refers to its dimensional properties. This is a plate that is 50 thousandths of an inch thick. This is a plate that's 4-inch wide and is 16-inch tall. And while satin brass is fairly uncommon, it's a beautiful finish. That's the backside. And I was inspecting the backside because of the way that they laid the screws down on top of here and then chipped. I wanted to make sure there was no damage. That scratched blue surface that you see, well, that's the exposed side. Let's peel a little bit of that away. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Satin brass is a beautiful color. Satin bronze, polished bronze, just gorgeous colors. And frankly, Rockwood does it as good as anybody else, if not better. When it comes to finishes. So the 70C is a 70 plate in the C size. The 70 means it's 50 thousandths. My caliper is going to tell me basically that it's 50 thousandths. It's .049, at least it is with the film applied. And any sort of, you know, when they shear this, I'm not sure how they're cutting it. But it's .049, it's 50 thousandths. It's going to be 4 by 16, 4-inch by 16-inch. That 3.5 by 15 is really common. 4 by 16 is really probably is more common. Now I like a little wider plate myself. I've got an average size hand. Go into a restroom in a restaurant, you'll notice discoloration where the lacquer, the finish, the clear coat has been broken down and the door has been fatigued and failed over 10, 20 years. A 6-inch would be nice because it'll cover the hand. The problem is, you know, now the hardware starts to get very visible on a door. If you're dealing with a application like that, you might consider maybe the half round, the radius plates. They're decorative and they still do the job. 4 by 16 is nice. I think it's better as a backer underneath a pull handle rather than operating as a push plate. So there's a link below this video to a document called Product Brochure where we can take a look at the Rockwood family of material when it comes to these push plates. The page that's there is only going to deal with the 70 series, which means the .050 thick material. They make 1/8 of an inch thick material. It's a different part number. If you literally want a piece of solid brass, 1/8 of an inch thick, push plate, they'll do it for you. So the 50 thousandths plate is the 70 series. As you look at the table that's there, as you change the letter in the part number, so does the size change. That's the only difference. That's really the only difference at all. 6 by 16 is fairly common. 4 by 20 is actually not uncommon as well. Sometimes people order that longer plate, and I think a good reason why you might want a longer plate is you have an 8-foot door. You know, when you're standing and looking at doors in elevation from 30 feet away, I think the hardware ought to be proportional to the door size. So longer plates are not unheard of. Actually, what's interesting is we do a 4 3/4 by 24-inch push plate. A Rockwood MOD might be the part number for modified. Not uncommon as a push plate. A little bit wider and 24-inch long. Really great for 9-foot doors. You'll see that there's a 70 RC that's there. It's going to be the same plate, but they're going to give you radiused corners on that. Don't quote me, but I believe the radius is about 1/2 of an inch. And then they will give you a rounded end, an RE version where you have, you know, the radius equal to 1/2 of the width of the plate. Not unheard of. We do sell those occasionally as well, although not very common. The point is, as you can see the part number for the radiused round end or square end plates. Now you can do options on this material, such as tech screws. And speaking of the screws, they do include complementary screws and a complementary finish. I doubt they're brass. Oh, they are. Okay, so be mindful. These are brass. You're going to want to pre-drill these holes really, really well, correctly. I would think that the pre-drill size should be about 80% of the root diameter of the screw. If you put a caliper, not including the threads, that's the root diameter. It's a push plate, so you could probably make it the diameter of the body. Good fitting screwdriver. You don't want to strip that out at all. It is a soft screw. You don't want to shear it. You can do torque screws. You can do self-adhesive. That's not unheard of, where there will be no holes at all, but there will be two-sided tape back here. And sometimes people will order that because, you know what? A person needs a couple of push plates, but they don't want to drill anything. Don't even own a drill. Can you sell it to me with self-adhesive tape? Yes, I can. And there you go. You do see those occasionally. You can do engraving on this material. It might be nice to have push or pull or bathroom on it. Whatever you might want, Rockwood can do. I've had Rockwood make, 3 30-inch by 18-inch, eighth of an inch solid bronze with the business hours of a restaurant on it, so they could put that out by their common entrance. You can do cylinder cutouts on this material. Cutouts for hardware. Cylinders, thumb turns, deadbolts, whatever you're going to install. If you have very common application, we just did some, for a Capitol building in the American Southwest, very governed by historical restrictions. This building was built in the 1870s, so literally post-war, late 19th century. Nothing can be done without complete review. They needed to be able to lock these doors. They needed to remove the deadbolts that were there because these locks were no longer serviceable. They needed to have push and pull hardware, and they were going to prep the edge of the door to take a mortise body so the hardware is concealed. So the look on the door is not really going to change much. And what we're able to give them is holes in the right location, both backset and vertically, justifying it against where the lock body would end up being, so that mortise cylinder can thread right in there. And everything looks just like it did, kind of, a long, long time ago. Okay, so Rockwood can do it. In the extended description, we've covered everything except to say that all 4 edges are beveled. B4E, beveled 4 edge, is a very common industry term. B3E would be typical on kick plates, where that unbeveled edge will go on the bottom of the door. There is also a document called Ordering Info that's there as well, and that will give you an idea of how you might place engraving or cutouts for hardware. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Rockwood products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Any questions on the Rockwood 70C in a 606 finish, or any finish, and it can be made in anything out of aluminum, stainless, brass, or bronze. Any finishes can be done. Your brass, your bronze, your nickels, your chromes, satin, polished, oil rub, they can powder coat. If you want this powder coat black, which is the new oil rub bronze, they'll happily do it. Not a problem at all. Rockwood all but encourages requests for special finishes. Any questions on the 70C or any other Rockwood product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.